Hello and welcome to another video. In this one I'll be talking about the Russian partial mobilization and what effect it will have in this war. This will all be based on Russian sources because the Ukrainians don't have any info on these partially mobilized forces. Only the Russians do because they are the ones who are organizing all of this. So until they are actually in the war, contributing, participating to it, we'll only know from the Russian source what's happening. First, we have this video on Twitter. I don't speak Russian. This video is in Russian. So if you're a Russian speaker or understand Russian, you can go watch it. But essentially, as you can see here, he says the partially mobilized forces will mostly be in the rear guarding taken territory. So essentially what we're seeing is that there will be 300,000 mobilized forces, and these forces will be in these occupied areas of the four regions of Kherson, Zaporizhia, Donetsk, and Luhansk. So essentially what this means is that the 200,000 forces that are already participating and have fought in this war for the months that they have been fighting in will be freed up to participate in other operations such as the defense of Liman or defense of the Kherson region, or even offensive operations around Zaporizhia, the Donetsk region, completely occupying the Donetsk region, and so on. Generally speaking, the forces who are going to be attacking will be of higher quality, while the forces defending will be of lower quality but way higher quantity, matching the quantity of the Ukrainians. We will be seeing the forces evening out. And then looking on here at the Telegram Slaviangrad, which is a pro-Russian source, there's a lot of videos about the training of these soldiers who are being mobilized, such as communications and other vital operations that are being done in the back line and not on the front line. Their participation in this war is going to be mostly backline supply support operations rather than actual fighting in the front line. And what we'll be seeing in the front line are going to be the experienced Russian soldiers who have fought in this war so far. And they'll be operating tanks and storming the villages rather than just sitting in the backline shooting artillery, because now they have 300,000 extra troops who can take that position in the backline shooting artillery, and then the experienced forces can now be used to walk the front lines. There's also the possibility that the Russians will mix these partially mobilized troops with the experienced troops to create a large quantity of troops storming these villages, where some of them are experienced, who will be taking the lead, while others are less experienced and will be supporting the more experienced forces. Generally speaking, what we can see from this partial mobilization is that the Russians are now on even footing with the Ukrainians, being able to match their forces in Ukraine and allowing the Russians to properly utilize their superior firepower and allow them to essentially conduct offensive operations again, which they were halted because of the large superiority in numbers of the Ukrainian armed forces that we have seen the past months due to the Ukrainian mobilization. So if you're thinking that the Russian mobilization will just be a lot of meat shields who will do nothing and the Russians are just stalling their defeat, then you should think again, because the mobilization of the Ukrainian forces actually helped out a ton in this war. So generally speaking, we'll probably be seeing something similar when the Russians mobilize. We need to see the Ukrainians doing a larger effort to counteract this change in the front line. And it will be interesting to see how the situation changes once the Russian soldiers have arrived at the front line. That's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching and have a great day.